You can see that it doesn't skip stitches at any time and makes the perfect zigzag. In this video, I'll show you how to adjust a Janome sewing machine. We're going to tilt the machine and remove the parts. The bobbin case, the bobbin, the hook, and everything else to follow the steps. Now let's take out the bobbin case. With your bobbin, we are going to... Let's get started. We're going to remove this part, which is the crab's gripper, and we're going to take out the crab. And we will take the following as a reference: the correct height of the bar. You should always take from the needle bar when the needle is up, and it gives us between 13.5 millimeters and 14. But with what I'm going to teach you next, you won't need any measurements. Just apply what I'm going to teach you, which is a fixed point where the lower part that must reach when the needle reaches that point, the machine must sew. This is due to the needle bar adjustment. And next, when we have the needle at its lowest point, the correct timing is as follows. The needle hole must reach this part here that acts as a needle guard. It must reach this part, and the hole must cut through this part. This indicates to us that it is the correct timing. The needle bar is misaligned because the needle is too high. The hole needs to go down more. Here we can see it's about 2 millimeters higher than usual. If it's too low, it will also cause problems like skipped stitches or the needle hitting the hook. While the bobbin is set, while my bobbin is sewing, the needle will break and cause us problems. What should we do? We're going to do the following. We must loosen the screw that holds the needle bar and lower the needle 2 millimeters to match this part. Here's what we'll do next. With the needle at its lowest point without moving the flywheel, let's uncover this part, which covers the needle bar, and we're going to locate this part. There will always be a screw with a small bushing that holds the needle bar. In this case, we need to use a number 2 Allen key. Grab the screw and we're going to loosen it. Turn the wheel so that the needle is always at the bottom. Then once it is loose, manually lower the needle bar so that the hole is in this part. As you can see here, the hole already reaches this part and they should be aligned in this part. This means that the highest point of the driver should cut through the eye of the needle as we see it right now. Once we have it like this without moving the wheel, we proceed to tighten the screw again. Make sure it's nice and tight, but without using too much force so we don't damage the screw thread. Now we're going to turn the hand wheel and make the needle bar move up and down several times. And when we take it to the lowest point again, we'll see it stays there. It won't go beyond that. This is exactly how all vertical bobbin sewing machines should look when the needle timing is correct. No? Remember that we must do this when it is in its highest position. So this machine with a mapopo, a vertical bobbin system, you should adjust it while the needle is in the right drop. Why? Because it's the farthest point from the bobbin to the needle. By securing the farthest point, we ensure the nearest point, which is on the left. Now let's note the following. Turn the hand wheel. At this moment, we can see that the tip is going lower than the eye, which means this is causing the previously mentioned problem. Skipped stitches or the machine not sewing because the tip must catch the needle thread. Actually, the tip of the hook must catch the needle thread. Unlike many people who say that the needle cannot catch the needle thread, it's not catching the crab's thread, meaning in this case it's doing the opposite. Right now the tip is passing lower, about 1.5 to 2 millimeters. We need to advance the crab so that it passes slightly above the eye. If we keep turning the wheel, we'll see that it always passes below the eye. This results in skipped stitches because it doesn't always catch the thread. For that, we need to locate the gears responsible for timing at the bottom. In this case, this machine has the gears in the back. Remember that depending on the brand, the gears are either in the back, the front, or down here at the bottom. Always in every machine, you will find them in these parts, these two gears, but they are timed the same way and have the same adjustments in all vertical shuttles like this one. You will always find two gears, whether one is plastic and the other metal, or both are metal or plastic. And note the following. We must always loosen the gear that holds the crab's shaft. In this case, we see that this whole shaft is the crab. By loosening these two screws holding the shaft, this piece will stop moving or will move less. If it keeps moving, just apply pressure to the bobbin case from the front to move it. When loosening the two screws, the shaft will lose pressure and this part that meshes with it won't move. It can rotate freely. What we need to do is the following. We add the two screws and with some pressure we can move the crab forward a bit, about 2 millimeters, and have it go a little higher than the eye. Next, we need a number 1 Allen key. 2 millimeters, and let's loosen the two screws that hold the crab gear. We turn the hand wheel and position the other screw. We loosen it, then once it's loose, we go to the front part. Already at the front part, we move the wheel. Again, we make sure it is with the right fall. As we already know, we see that the tip continues to pass lower. We go back to remove the claw and we put some pressure on the rocker forward. So that it moves a bit, and it moves a bit without moving the wheel, without moving the machine. Again, we put the claw and check. We move the wheel holding nothing else. We see that the tip passes over the entire eye, but we are still a bit short. Again, we take out the shuttle hook, which is much easier without it inside, to apply pressure to this part, and again, we move it forward just a bit more. Again, we place the shuttle and check by turning the hand wheel. Now we see that the point passes slightly above the eye. In this case, the machine should sew perfectly. When we reach this point, we will tighten the gear screws again. We turn the machine, locate the screws, and tighten them again. Let's remember, this is trial and error. What do you mean by trial and error? If we need to thread and sew again and the machine keeps skipping stitches, we need to advance it a little more, but not too much, because if we move it forward too much, it will skip stitches. One screw and then the other. Once everything is tightened back again, we reassemble everything and proceed to test it again with the fabric. Well, before that, let's put this in because many people still don't know how to place these parts and get lost. Then they'll complain that I didn't show them. So, retaining crabs, retainers, pins. And now, the bobbin is with its bobbin inside and is going to click into place. Alright, now let's thread and sew. Once it's threaded, remember to insert the needle, one stitch. We'll test it first, set it to straight stitch and test the straight stitch. Then we need to place it on top and test it. Now press the pedal. And we see that there are no skipped stitches. We can see the difference up there with the one we just did. After adjusting the shuttle, it's not causing any problems, no skipped stitches at all. Now we're going to flip the fabric. We lower the needle, raise the needle. Remember that to select different types of stitches, we always have to do it with the needle up. Set it to its maximum width and then press the pedal. We use the pressure foot, remove the fabric and check it. And here we can see we can see that at no point does it skip a stitch, and it makes the C-shaft perfectly. We see that there is no problem underneath either. This means the machine is perfectly synchronized. Remember friends, if you like this video, please support us with a like. It's very important to us. Subscribe and we'll see you in the next video. Hola, soy Alap Selod Sayinen.